In the 16th century, the Korean peninsula was shrouded in fear. Villages burned, smoke filled the skies, and the people trembled as Japanese forces advanced. Under the ambitions of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Japan sought to conquer all of Asia, and Korea was the gateway to China. But in the midst of chaos, a hero would rise, Yi Sun-shin, a general of unmatched courage and brilliant strategy. Born in 1545 during the Joseon dynasty, Yi was no ordinary child. He studied the art of war, philosophy, and the way of the sword, driven by a burning desire to defend his homeland. His path was not an easy one. Jealous officials tried to break him, but his loyalty could not be bought or shaken. For Yi Sun-shin, duty was not to power, but to his people. Then, in 1592, a sea of Japanese warships invaded Korea's shores. Defeat seemed inevitable. But from the dark, raging sea, Yi Sun-shin emerged, fearless, determined, unyielding. The tides of war would soon change, for the man who rose from the waves would become a legend, the sea hero of Korea.
As the commander of the Navy, Yi Sun-shin planned his strategies with precision. He never rushed into battle. Instead, he studied every movement of the enemy. Yi knew the Korean seas like the back of his hand. Every bay, every island, every shifting current. This deep knowledge of the ocean became his secret weapon. But Yi's genius didn't stop there. He designed a revolutionary warship known as the Gobuk-son, or turtle ship. Its ironclad hull, covered deck, and rows of cannons in every direction made it unlike anything the world had ever seen. At its bow, a fierce dragon's head belched smoke and fire, a symbol of Korea's unyielding spirit. When the Japanese Navy faced these strange, armored beasts, they were utterly unprepared. Yi led his men with calm authority, courage radiating from every command. He fought not from behind, but from the front line. Then came the Battle of Okbo. Yi struck first, a sudden, decisive attack. Japanese ships anchored in the harbor erupted in flames, one after another. The sea glowed red, and the cheers of Korean sailors echoed across the waves. Yi's brilliance lay not only in his strength, but in his strategy. He understood that victory at sea meant cutting off Japan's lifeline, their supply routes and reinforcements. By destroying their fleets, Yi crippled their advance. After the victory at Okbo, his name spread across the land. To the people of Joseon, Yi Sun-shin was no longer just a soldier. He was a beacon of hope. But this was only the beginning of a long and arduous war.
This is only the beginning.
In the Battle of Hansando, Admiral Yi Sun-shin revealed the full brilliance of his mind. He deployed the legendary crane wing formation, a masterful naval strategy that spread his fleet wide across the sea, like the outstretched wings of a giant bird. Unaware of the trap, the Japanese fleet sailed straight into the center, and when the moment came, the Korean ships closed in from all sides. Cannons thundered, smoke rose high, and the sea itself seemed to roar. Dozens of Japanese ships were destroyed, thousands of soldiers lost beneath the waves. It was a stunning victory, one that shattered Japanese morale and enraged Toyotomi Hideyoshi himself. But Yi Sun-shin remained humble. He never claimed glory for himself. To him, every triumph belonged not to a man, but to the people of Joseon. But behind his victories, dark politics began to stir. Jealous officials, consumed by envy, whispered lies into the royal court. They accused Yi of treason, without proof, without mercy. The king, deceived by their words, stripped Yi of his command. He was imprisoned, beaten, humiliated. A hero, cast into the shadows of his own nation. But even in chains, Yi bore no hatred toward his country. His only sorrow was that he could no longer protect his people. And as he languished in prison, Japan struck again, fiercer than ever. Without Yi's leadership, the Joseon Navy fell into chaos, defeat after defeat, and once more, the seas ran red. At last,
the king realized the truth. Only Yi Sun-shin could save Korea. He was summoned once more, but this time, only 12 ships remained under his command. Against hundreds of enemy vessels, the mission seemed impossible. Yet Yi never lost faith. He told his weary men, "We still have ships, we still have the sea, and we still have the spirit." Those words ignited the hearts of his sailors. Though outnumbered beyond imagination, they stood ready to fight for their homeland, for their families, for their honor. Then came the Battle of Myeongyang. Yi lured the Japanese fleet into a narrow strait, where the powerful currents twisted and turned like a living force. Trapped by the raging tides, the enemy ships crashed into one another. From the cliffs above, the thunder of Korean cannons echoed across the waves. Ship after ship was engulfed in flames and swallowed by the sea. When the smoke cleared, Yi's 12 ships still stood, while over 100 Japanese vessels lay destroyed. The world was astonished. Once again, Yi Sun-shin had saved his nation from annihilation. But the war was not yet over. Japan would strike again, sending an even greater fleet. Wounded and exhausted, Yi continued to lead his men. He knew his life was nearing its end, but he did not fear death. For Yi Sun-shin believed that to die on the battlefield, defending his people and his land, was the highest honor a warrior could ever achieve.
In the year 1598, the Battle of Noryang would become Admiral Yi Sun-shin's final stand. Once more, he led his fleet with unshakable resolve, fighting to the very last breath as enemy ships burned across the horizon. But in the chaos of battle, a single Japanese musket ball pierced his chest. Yi staggered, blood staining his armor. As life slipped away, he gave his final command. "Do not let the troops know that I have fallen. Keep fighting until victory is ours." His men, their hearts breaking, obeyed his last wish. They fought on with fury and honor, and when the smoke cleared, Korea had triumphed once again. Only after the battle was won did the world learn that its greatest hero had fallen. The entire nation mourned. Tears flowed across the land of Joseon. Yi Sun-shin had given everything: his strength, his spirit, his life for his country. Yet though his body perished, his legacy would never die. The turtle ship became a symbol of Korean ingenuity and power. His brilliant tactics would be studied by generals for centuries to come. Monuments were built, stories told, and films created in his honor. In Korea, his name is still spoken with reverence. Yi Sun-shin, the guardian of the people. He proved that courage and intellect could triumph over overwhelming odds. He taught the true meaning of loyalty and sacrifice. And even today, his spirit endures in the hearts of every generation that follows. For a true hero never dies.